and welcome to The Girl in the Garden. Hi, I'm Tina, and today I'm going to try my hand at canning pickles. I did do this one time way in the past, but I only had enough pickles for like one jar. I'm not quite sure I have enough for the recipe I'm going to follow from the ball canning book, but I'm going to try it. My son's going to give me a hand. Here's the pickles that we have harvested so far, and I'm really excited. So let's walk through this together and see if I can get this done and get it done right. Now, the recipe I'm using actually calls for red and yellow bell peppers and jalapenos because I kind of want a spicy pickle. And some I may leave that out of so I can just get the dill pickle. We'll see how it turns out. All right, let me get my ingredients together. Okay, to start with, it says to slice off a little bit each end of the pickle, then quarter it, then it goes into a glass bowl, it's sprinkled with pickling sauce, and then you put ice water over it. Then you put a plate inverted on top with something heavy on it to keep the pickles submerged for 2 hours. So that's where we're headed. All right, our pickles, or pickling cucumbers, whatever you want to call them, are all sliced up. Thank you, Kyle. And then we've got the salt already measured out, and it says to sprinkle it on the top. So that's what I'm going to do, is sprinkle it on the top. I'm going to add ice water, and then we're going to get it soaking for 2 hours. Our ice water's in place. And now our plate is in place. The bigger plates I have are too big. This one's a little bit not big enough. But everything is under the water, and it has to sit for 2 hours like this. So I'm going to let it sit while I clean up what mess I've made and get everything else ready to move on to make these pickles. We have 30 minutes left for our pickles in the ice water. So I went ahead and moved on with getting things ready for what the recipe says. So one of the things was to have my jars in here and not to boil, but to simmer. And so I did crank it up kind of high because that's a lot of water. And then it also said to bring these to a simmer, but not to boil. So those are going. Then I have my half a cup of red, yellow, and orange sweet peppers. And I basically used one of each color. I tried to find the biggest ones, and that came out to a half a cup finely chopped. And I didn't have a jalapeno, but I did have the jarred jalapeno. So I just took out how many I thought made up a jalapeno. We like spice, so we're good. Could not find dill seeds, so I used dill weed. And the equivalent for the amount of dill seeds said 3 tablespoons for this part, 3 tablespoons for the other part that we're going to be doing here pretty quick. So that's what I've kind of done and changed. Oh, and the recipe's in the ball canning book. I'll check to see what page it's on to let you know. Okay, I don't know what I need to do next, so I need to go read the recipe. All right, it is page 16, and it's called Pick a Vegetable Dill Pickles. All right, now we have our water, vinegar, mustard seeds, the rest of our dill. I think that was it. And I cannot, like I said, could not find dill seeds, so we're doing it with dill. I did look up the equivalent to what I needed, so we'll see how these turn out. This has to come to a boil and boil for 5 minutes. And we'll go from there. All right, our vinegar spice mixture is at a boil. We have got 4 more minutes for it to boil. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to rinse our cucumber pickles twice with cold water. Then we're going to put them in that pickling liquid, and they're going to simmer, I think it said, for 5 minutes. So I just wanted to show you in case I forget when I start doing this. Okay, wish me luck. So far, so good. I've got my pickles in the pickling juice. they're not completely submerged. Should they be? I don't know. We'll see. All right, so this process was quite hectic for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. How do you get pickle spears to stand up in a jar? I have no idea. What tool are we supposed to use with what? You know, we're not familiar with it because we haven't done this. But we're learning, and so far it's been a great experience. Now it's time to add some more water to this to an inch over the lids and boil it for 10 minutes. All right, we're at a full rolling boil. I only had enough pickles for 5 jars, not 6. We got 10 minutes to go, and then we get to take them out. All right, I jumped the gun. I turned off the heat, and now I have to wait 5 more minutes before I can remove the jars. So let's wait 5 minutes. Yes, I'm excited. Can you see? That is still boiling in there. I'm like, what? I heard a couple of dings, but I'm sure it's not the final like sealing of the jars. So we'll be back to show you what's next, and that's 24 hours, and then we can make sure that they're sealed. And we'll go from there. Alrighty, time to taste test. I did already do this, and they all seem to be sealed. So now I'm gonna open one and taste it. I am so excited. It was definitely sealed. Let's give this little pickle a try. I hope you can't hear me chewing this. It's crunchy. That is good. I like my pickles. Oh yeah, I like them. I wish there was a little bit more jalapeno in them, a little bit more of a hint of spice. Ooh, but they are dill. Oh, all right. Well, my 5 pickle jars are a success. I'm pretty excited. Now I'm gonna read my ball canning book to see what else I can do next. Yay! Maybe after I do a few water bath cannings, I'll move on to pressure canning. I don't know, that just kind of scares me. Oh my gosh, thank you for following along and watching this. If I made a mistake somewhere and you saw it, please point it out in the comments. I hope you liked this video, and I'd love for you to give me a thumbs up. I'd love for you to share my video and subscribe. Let's see what else I can learn to can. Again, I am super excited. This is Tina, the girl in the garden, and I've made my first batch of pickles. I'll see you next time. Bye.